let's hope that never happens again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great. That was a very hard watch. A very easy place to watch. We were watching it at Moorabbin at RSEA at the Moorabbin Social, which was nice, but yeah, just a bit of an unfortunate situation there. I feel like the opposition were all running at 100% and we were all running at about 45%. So big loss to the Adelaide Crows. Biggest loss since, when did we say?
Round 11, 2021. 59 points to Geelong that week.
59 points to Geelong. There we go. So 52. Almost 2 years since we've copped a big hiding like that. Just feeling a bit dull after a performance like that. Boys, how are you feeling, Jake?
Yeah, look, after the loss I was pretty upset. I think like a lot of Saners. I've had a bit of time to mull it over, to think about it, dissect it, review it, forget about it. All the above, really.
Yeah.
It's taken us 9 weeks to have a performance like that. I mean, in the scheme of things, we're still 6-3, we're still 5th. And going into the game, did we all have a weird feeling about it? The fact that it was in Adelaide Oval, we didn't play King. Adelaide had 2 very good games the previous 2. They lost.
Yeah, they lost, but good form.
And we knew what they were going to bring.
Yeah.
That speed, that forward pressure, that power, that size about them. They're just a big team.
Yeah.
And all of the worst things that I was picturing before the game, they came true. Yeah. Especially Tex.
Yeah,
Bloody
especially
Tex
Tex
Walker, man.
Like, we don't like it when Tex is on fire. He looks too good. And it's always against us. Marshy, how are you?
Oh, yep, lads and listeners. I think my mic's...
we need to balance it a bit. Have we got to...
It keeps drooping down and I'm like, oh, jeepers.
Where's your satchel? Just hang it on the end.
Oh, I didn't bring my fanny pack.
No satchel?
No satchel.
He's got his backpack.
The counterweight.
Yeah, that works.
There you go.
I've never been in here before.
Yeah, because you set up my table for me. So the new car smell has worn off.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon at the Port Adelaide game, it was like, someone left a piece of fruit in the car overnight, a little bit noticeable. And then the North game, someone got in there with you saw a couple of cheeseburger wrappers.
That's a banana peel under the front seat.
Yeah, there's a bit of orange juice that's gone into the material in the back seat.
And then yesterday against Adelaide, someone's dead set just sparked up a dart. So I reckon we just need to keep the windows down for a week, get a bit of air, and then, reset and go again against the Giants.
Do we got to just pull
That's a great metaphor.
We're just pulling the handbrake just for now? Or are we...
No, not the...
Just to slow down, like not get ahead of ourselves, get back to basics.
I think that's definitely sailed. I think we can't... I don't think there's any Saners getting ahead of themselves anymore.
Oh, no way.
After that. That was the handbrake.
That was the game itself,
I think, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest test will be next week. If we can't get over GWS, then we're probably not a top 8 side based on what happened to them last night against Collingwood. So, bit more about the game. There was a lot of negatives in that game, but I feel like at Saints TV we always like to touch on the positives first. So positive, Ryan Marshall's ruck work was flawless. He was so good. He put it to advantage multiple times. He had 49 hit-outs.
35 at halftime.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
When I saw that, I thought that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That's absurd numbers.
How crazy. On record for 80 hit-outs.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And that's the all-time record by Goldstein.
Was it 80?
It's 80 hit-outs, yeah.
On track for 70, but...
What's that? But... Yeah, so he was fantastic. Not only that, 8 tackles when in a game where I felt like that was the thing that stood out to me most. Was we were just getting brushed off. We didn't want to tackle. We didn't want to tackle hard. It was like we'd all had a broken collarbone 3 weeks ago and we were coming back from it because it was just pretty soft.
It wasn't even just that though, Joycey. It was pulling out of a contest. It wasn't even like going in and failing. I can deal with that where it's like the endeavour's there, it's just not coming off.
Yeah.
But I can count I reckon, 10 times where a player could have got to a contest, could have spoiled, could have hit the body and just pulled up short.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
we've
Big
not done
time.
that all year. Why are we doing that?
Well, it was spaced.
And there's a big one that you spotted. You were fuming when it happened.
Oh, was that the Patton one on the goal line? Yeah, when he could
Fogarty.
have. Yeah, he could have tackled Fogarty, and he just put an arm out
And then just stopped.
and just stopped. Like he should have absolutely buried Fogarty across the line. He was on the side. He was off balance. Patton, if you put a little bit of pressure on him there, if you put a little bit of physicality on there, it's a behind and we get the ball back. But instead, it gets turned over and it gets turned into a goal.
And even if it's still going to be a guaranteed goal. You want to make him earn that goal.
Make him
Yeah,
earn it.
not
yeah.
give it up.
You bet your bottom dollar that Jimmy Webster's not watching that. He's not standing around.
Yeah, spot
Yeah.
on. Yeah. So there are a few players that did want to put their body on the line. Ryan Marshall, one of them, he was really good. I thought Mason Wood was really good again. Tried his heart out. His shoulders sore. You can tell his shoulders very, very sore, but he was still going up for marks, kicked his
Yeah.
couple of goals.
Higo as well.
And
special
Higo
mention.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
Busted his ass. Like copped a few hits again. But good to see him get some free kicks. That was nice.
Yeah, that's
That was
refreshing.
nice. Yeah.
And he kicked his 3 goals straight. So
Yeah,
good day
but-
at the office.
Yeah, it was a great day at the office for Higo, but again, it's him doing a bunch of things that he shouldn't have to do.
Yeah.
You know, he shouldn't be the one going up for those marks and copping it across the head. Should be other players who are more of height than
And it
him.
was kind of symbolic of when Membry went down. We all hope that he's okay because that was nasty.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, Membry's having to go over the fly of the ball, and Higgins come in and pretty much tunneled him to try and get out of the way.
Yeah.
But you know, Higgins shouldn't be the one leading up for those sorts of balls. And
Yeah.
you
And
know,
Membry shouldn't be the one flying back. No one should have to fly back for the
Yeah.
mark. It should be on the chest, going inside 50.
Yeah.
And geez, did we lack that? So it was a very, very disappointing performance, especially from a few of our senior players, which made me really, really upset. You know, it was one of those games where you need your senior players to really, really stand up and show them how it's done. Ryan Marshall was the man that tried to do it, but no one wanted to follow suit.
I thought Naz did early.
And Naz was good
He was
early.
really
Yeah.
driving early.
Yeah. He lost a bit of spirit throughout the game with
Hunter played well, I thought. Hunter Clark.
Yeah, Hunter Clark. He played all right, and then he figured out what it meant to be a hardworking midfielder. I think, and I think a lot of them did. You know, I think Crouch as well had a lot of the ball, but still, he knows what it means now to be a hardworking midfielder at the Saints Football Club. Seb Ross as well.
That was a tough day.
First shocker in a while, but it was a shocker. Some really poor decisions.
It was just decisions. But I wasn't that upset with Seb's game because he still, you know, plenty of effort, like eight tackles,
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
with Marshall, was sort of like the team high.
Yeah.
I think he had the most pressure acts or thereabouts. So he was still getting after the opposition. It was just really poor by foot.
Yeah.
Like he was in the 30% or something. But,
Yeah.
you know, he wasn't alone there.
No, no one was working for each other.
It was an individual day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Back line was under siege, so it's really hard to judge them because
Yes.
the midfield pressure was so low.
yeah. I think Dukes had a pretty bad week.
Yeah, it was tough for Dukes.
The amount of I feel like there was a lot of spoils that went begging.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of spoils that went straight up in the air. Dukes would lose it. Wilkie would lose it. And that just gave their smalls a really hot chance to get the ball, and they did. And they made us pay their smalls. They have some of the best smalls in the competition, and Rankin, Rochelle, even Murphy had a good game. So pretty much everyone on their list had a good game. But we just gave them that opportunity by not killing the ball.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't a whole lot of boundary throw-ins.
And it was very clear that the communication was poor in the back line because they're just under the pump.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, the amount of times either Wilkie or Dukes, they'd both go for it where, you know, previous weeks,
Yeah,
they're
it'd be
just,
one.
you know, they're protecting each other and go,
Yeah.
you mark it, you kill it.
Yeah.
But they just wind up spoiling each other and...
And a lot of
It
the
was
time
just-
they went in the same area. You've got to give Adelaide forwards the credit for that. They opened up that 50 so well to make sure that they weren't in the same contest going for the same ball. Like, that's why Tex was so open a lot of the time, because Tex will do anyone one-on-one, bar probably Tom Hawkins in the competition, because they're, you know, but they'll never line up on each other because they're just massive units. So to put Dukes on him, But that's where Dukes really needs to make the most of the one-on-one if it's coming in the air to kill that ball, to get it over the line. But a lot of the time he just punched it and went straight up in the air.
Would Battle have been a better matchup?
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. It doesn't matter who you put on, does it?
Nah. You just and I think everyone was too worried about doing their job defensively. And
because you talk about the, you want to create dirty ball for the opposition with their forward entries. That was Mr. Sheen. The ball that was coming, that was sparkling. It was almost like we had the leather polisher out.
They were going at close to 70% for the game. Efficiency inside 50.
That's ridiculous.
That's like all-time numbers.
Yeah.
We were going at 27 at one point.
Yeah. Just
We're never
shocking.
winning.
Nah,
doing that.
and they were doing a lot of rebound 50 work as well. Every time it came into our 50, we didn't make the most of it. They'd go down the other end and kick a goal. So that just shows you we're probably not working hard enough on the turnover. Yeah. We're really in a phase now where we've been figured out in terms of man-on-man. That's the way that we've been dismantled over the past 3 weeks. Man-on-man, it kills us because all of a sudden we don't get to run in lines. We have to beat our opposition
There's
first
no
before
zone.
we... There's no zone or anything like that. We're really good at breaking a zone. We're really good at breaking a zone apart with our run. But when it's man-on-man, you have to beat your man. And unfortunately, we don't have the willpower or the body power right now to do so. So that's where you get worried about opposition teams doing that. Whereas when we start to go man-on-man, like we tried our zone, we tried man-on-man, but we were just beaten so easily man-on-man.
Oh, their ability to have a couple of quick handballs and then go wide, a little
spread.
15-metre dart out wide and then cut back in. It was just rinse and repeat for pretty much the entire day.
Yeah.
That's what was so frustrating about it. It's just like
same thing over.
just the same thing. And like Mason Wood, I know you're big of this yesterday, Joycey, with his entries into the forward line. He's just sending in bullets that were just doing nobody any favours, except if you're wearing an Adelaide jumper. Whereas I think he got the one opportunity. And that was just a perfect kick for a forward. It was just, I don't know who kicked it.
Yeah, but it was nice and high.
And just gave him an opportunity just to get a clear run at it.
Yeah, because what you want to do as a forward, if that ball's coming at you quickly, you've got no opportunity to clear the space for where the ball's going to land or get leverage to get up there. You got to make your decisions so quickly and you have to know what's around you instantly. And it's very, very hard. Whereas if you give the ball time, just that extra second of flight up in the air means you can touch and feel around you. You know where the ball's going to drop. You've got the smarts on it. You know which teammates kicked it. And you can get time to put some body on and get to the flight of the ball. Mason Wood had that opportunity and took the mark. So he should learn from it. Because his entries were really, really poor on the weekend. Yeah. Although he did a lot of good work around the ground.
If he had done that finishing, that could have really... that would have been an excellent game from him if he had just given our forwards a bit of a better opportunity.
So what do we do in the second term, do you reckon, that got us back? Because we kicked 4 goals straight. And Ross, have you seen his presser?
Yeah.
He focused on that second quarter quite heavily.
We dominated.
Yeah.
Like we dominated that second quarter. I didn't feel like we dominated that second quarter.
Nah.
I think he's he's just protecting the boys a little bit in the media.
Yeah.
But what did we do differently to kick 4 goals for? Because that was almost half our score in that quarter.
I think we just took our opportunities. Like, as basic as that sounds, we just chose the right option at the time and like we'd been doing for the first 6 weeks or so, we just played football.
Yeah,
Like,
and we wanted to get to the ball first.
Yeah,
For the other
crumbed.
3 quarters, we didn't want to be to the ball first. We wanted to... We were hanging off the back of them.
yeah.
And I hate seeing that. I hate seeing blokes that are past their peak,
Yeah.
who are probably in their last year of football, going in and getting easy ball because they're the first ones there, and they'll always do it because they got that experience. Like Rory Sloane, a few times, just pick the ball up off the ground with very, very little pressure. And I'm like, you shouldn't be letting old blokes do that. Like, that's where I'll look at names like Crouch, Steele, who else was in the midfield, Sinclair, Ross. I don't care how many pressure acts you have. How many ground balls did you get? That's what I want to know. We need to be killing teams at ground ball gets and getting out of the stoppage that way, because we've been chasing tail the past 3 weeks at ground ball gets, and it's really, really annoying.
It's a stat that they don't really talk about anymore, is it? Like, you don't see it popping up on the telly. It's not on the app, Scramble gets.
Oh,
But I feel like it's quite is it?
Yeah, they mentioned it a few times throughout the game, and
Yeah.
But on the AFL app,
Like, it's not there.
No.
Yeah, it's not there,
It's like the
yeah.
mystery stat.
yeah. Whereas,
But-
like,
but
I think,
The pressure tracker,
Yeah.
which we were apparently pretty low at for most part yesterday.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
Poor.
yeah. So, and it really makes your pressure acts stand out, like your Rowan Marshalls and everything like that. It really makes his effort stand out when the rest of the team isn't doing it. So,
Yeah, that was Steele of 2021 and a bit
Yeah.
of 2022, wasn't it? He
Yeah.
just looked like a god because everyone else couldn't do that basic fundamental.
Yeah. So, when you got a bloke that's 6'7", throwing his weight around like he's 5'10" and hanging off blokes and tackling them, surely the blokes that are 5'10" to 6'2" can pick it up and go, oh, geez, yeah, that's the way to do it. Maybe I should have a crack at that.
Because you saw
Pretty
the start
soft.
of the game that both teams were, we did it for the whole game, but especially Adelaide, focusing on Adelaide, that the first 5 minutes, they were shitting themselves
They were
because
fumbly, yeah.
they were expecting, what they'd been sort of focusing on all week. They were expecting the best Saints.
Yeah.
And, they were shook just by our history. But once they realised that the hits weren't coming, that just made their job so much easier. And they just walked it out of stoppages.
Yeah.
That's one thing we haven't talked about yet was that transition
Yeah.
from back to front, wasn't
Oh.
it? There was so many times where it was like one handball, one kick, and they're inside 50 taking a shot, and we're like, how quick was that?
Yeah, and we grind for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were the number one team in the first 6 weeks for
ball movement.
protecting that ball movement.
Yeah.
As soon as they see a turnover, they run, and they run so hard because they do the man-on-man.
Yeah, and then
Saints
they can
have the
beat
ball,
you.
it's man-on-man. Soon as that ball gets turned over, and we're getting sucked in. We're not focusing on spread at all, and that's one thing I think we need to bring back into our game is the ability to spread and run and lead and get on the fat side of the ground and make it look big, because they made Adelaide Oval look massive yesterday, and it's just purely because we were all sucked into one side of it. It was very under 12s like football.
And you didn't see them, like their forwards going up for marks together.
No.
It was always one-on-one. Tex one-on-one outbodied. Even their smalls, one-on-one ground ball get, snap goal. There was never... They didn't rely on giant pack marks.
No.
It was just isolating every contest and picking the right option, going, yep, Tex is one-on-one, we back him to beat Dukes.
It was nearly
And
the
he did.
perfect game.
It was
to
the perfect
Adelaide's
game.
They
credit,
couldn't have played better.
the
They couldn't have
yeah.
played, but that's the best football they've played all year. That was better than the way they played against Carlton.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at their set shot kicking, their goal kicking as well. They couldn't miss.
What did they kick in the year 19-7 or something?
Something like that.
It's
Something
ridiculous. Yeah.
Just an amazing scoreline. So we copped the very best of Adelaide on the weekend, and we saw the very worst of ourselves. 54 points in the end, was
52.
it? 52 points is generous. It should have been more than that. So
Yeah, I was surprised.
yeah.
Yes.
I thought for sure as I was walking out that we'd lost by over 10 goals. But we were lucky. Our percentage is still pretty healthy at a 120.
124, something like
ish.
that.
Yeah,
so
something
still,
like that. So
still solid.
yeah, it's still solid, but that's one where you have to go in on your Monday meeting, have a look at the vision, and just go, well, we can't tolerate that for now for the rest of the season. We were having a chat before the podcast, and we were saying, it happens to good sides. It happens to really great sides as well. Like, we did it to Richmond in 2017. That was the turning point for them. They just went, nah, that was a joke. We know what we have to avoid now.
Yeah.
And they really took it as a positive to go, shit, not happening again. Glad it's happened now and not in the first and second week of finals.
Yeah, exactly.
So glad it's happening now.
Yeah.
Glad it's happening in the front half of the season. Work on it. Work on yourselves. But the other thing is, when we were under Ratton, this is where Ratton struggled to pull the boys out. He really struggled to pull the boys out of the mental slump that they went into after a big loss or after a loss at all. It'll be interesting to see, and we know Ross is a bit of a hard ass compared to Rats, so it'll be interesting to see how the boys respond going into next week. He always says they're so coachable. Well,
We'll see.
yeah, it's like, okay, the instruction is there, but the mental effort has to be there as well.
And he's going to be tested too, because
Oh yeah.
he was the blueprint of the first 6 weeks. It was the Saints structure,
Yeah.
how to break that down.
Yeah.
Well, Port Adelaide's kind of opened the door for the rest of the comp to go, that's kind of how you do it.
Yeah.
North tried it, obviously didn't get done, but we saw what game that was.
Yeah.
And then yesterday,
Yeah. That's
we got
it.
what we deserved. So it's a big one
100%.
on Sunday.
And like, it was like there were some people that didn't really like Ross's press conference in how he, would treat it as a mulligan. And yeah, obviously he's protecting the players to an extent, and his messaging I'm sure would be a lot different and a little bit more frank. But I like that he's done that because, well, you only get one mulligan. Like if we were to serve up the same thing against the Giants, it forces him to, not forces, but I think the response would be a little bit more indicative of where we're at.
Yeah, if we come out
if we didn't respond.
Yeah. If we come out and we play Saints footy of the first 4 weeks, get the job done by 6-7 goals, we're like, okay, we can forgive that.
Yeah.
Because we've responded.
Yeah, that's
and
all
we
we're
haven't
looking
lost
for.
2 in a row this year. We've bounced back after every loss.
Yep.
Yeah.
We lost to the Pies, bounced back pretty well against Carlton. Obviously, the North game was a bounce back, but wasn't the prettiest game.
Sideways bounces and
But this is the big test.
yeah,
Well,
big test.
back-to-back road trips, so
And that too,
it's a great opportunity for the boys to really see what it's all about. There's going to be a lot of change. I reckon there will be a few changes.
I reckon there'll be a few changes
4 to
as well.
5, I reckon.
Yeah. We'll
talk about that.
We will talk about that, but some other positives to come out of our VFL side. Sandringham, a couple of AFL listed players had some very, very strong performances. None better than probably the game of the year in the VFL so far. Marcus Windhager had 36 disposals, kicked 3 goals, 2, had 9 inside 50s and
He was a
11
machine.
clearances or something.
That's what you want to see, and we never see that really. No. We haven't seen that before. A young fella get dropped and then just truly dominate. We've seen him go back and have good games, but that's domination.
That is domination. That is like I should.
You have to play me now.
Yeah, it's like I don't
exactly.
belong here. Don't put me back here. I don't belong here.
Could you imagine him walking into training tomorrow?
Yeah.
And being like, I'm playing this week.
That's it.
You can't not play me now, mate.
Exactly. Yeah. So there will be a change for Windhager coming in, that's for sure, and Kingy to look forward to as well. But without further ado, I reckon we take a bit of a break here. We move on from last week and we look at more positives
look forward.
here.
Well, kind of.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah, maybe not after. We'll wait. We'll get through
we'll dissect a few more things in Jakey's junk mail, and then we'll get through the trash, and then we'll find some treasure at the end of the rainbow.
Jakey's junk mail. Jakey's junk mail. Jakey's junk mail. Jakey's junk mail.
Keanuing it over here.
Keanuing it.
I'm on the Matrix. The mic's a little bit aggressive.
Oh, is it?
For some reason.
Jeez.
Mr. Anderson. Welcome back.
I watched that the other week.
Did you?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I don't know. It was filmed parts of it in Sydney.
Yeah, how cool is that?
really?
I love when you watch good movies and you're like, oh shit, some of that was in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, the agent was he's an Australian actor.
Yeah,
Hugo
that's right.
Weaving.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, let's weave straight into this question.
Hey,
That's actually not a question, but it's nice. Let's kick it off with something that's going to make us feel good.
beautiful.
This is from Josh. Not a question for Jakey's junk mail, but nonetheless, shout out to travelling Saints fans to the game this week. Typing this, is currently sitting in Adelaide Airport with flight delays pushing over 2 hours to get home.
Oof.
Work tomorrow, Saints fans sleeping on floors all over the place.
Yeah,
We'll win a flag one day, and I hope each one of these poor souls are there to see it.
Yeah, good.
I was actually dead set in just my little downtime when I have it. I was thinking about the poor bastards that went over there to watch that, and you're like, good on them.
Yeah.
Because nothing is worse than going interstate and just seeing a shit loss.
Yeah.
So good on them.
Spot on.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those in my time.
I've only seen one interstate
that
up
was
win.
Cairns, wasn't it?
No,
Win
was
Sorry,
when
yeah.
Gresh, we had that comeback against Gold Coast.
That's right. Yeah, isn't that the photo you took with
With
Bakes?
Bakes. Yeah.
Good. This is from the Chad.
The Chad.
He said, "We can't underestimate how the off-field changes with the performance and fitness personnel has on the group. This is compounded by the high-pressure based football we have established as part of Ross Lyon's takeover." So Chad reckons Nick Walsh, changing over, that may have an effect on our last couple of weeks. Do you think it would? I don't think it necessarily would.
I don't think so.
I think that...
Nah, because by the sounds of it, he was the 2 IC by the end of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be a bit of a worry if that were the
Yeah.
case, but I don't think
Yeah.
so.
I mean, it only
That's-
happened a week or two ago. I wouldn't say
Yeah, you just
our
lose
season
your
would
fitness
plummet
straight
because
away.
of one individual.
I don't have a fucking bad day at work when someone I like quits.
Nah.
What? Why would you? Like,
This is from Miguel. Is Filippo due a rest? Is it this week?
yeah.
No, I thought so, but he's a sneaky one with the numbers because like
He is sneaky with numbers.
25, a buttload of I think he had 25 touches or something like
Did he?
that. Yeah, he had decent touches.
25.
I don't think it's.
How much did he get?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
fact check me, but I think it was maybe. Yeah,
You reckon he got over 20?
I reckon he got 20 or 25, one of the two.
So it's over 20, Marshy reckons.
Yeah, I reckon.
Let me have a squizzy.
He was there.
Filippo, 18.
18. Yeah,
So
so
he gets ball.
he gets
How many
ball.
handballs? Sorry, just out of curiosity.
He gets ball.
How many fumbles?
His disposals efficiency was nice and a shitload of pressure acts.
Right, so yeah,
So
18 disposals, 6 kicks. So
Yeah,
a lot
so
of
a lot of
handballs.
handballs.
A lot of handballs. 3 marks, no tackles. 72% efficiency.
yeah.
Yeah.
5 contested possessions. So he does get the numbers, right? He does get the numbers. That's okay. But I feel like he is class. He's a class above. That's why he was a top 10 draft pick, was because he has class. We're not seeing the class. We're seeing the endeavour. He's got the endeavour and he's never not going to have the endeavour. But once he gets to the ball, is that fatigue setting in throughout the season of an AFL level? And he's going... Like, he had the fumbles at the start of the game. He had the absolute fumbles. He could not pick it up. And it was up until halftime he had the fumbles. So...
Controversial call, but do you reckon maybe... Because I feel like he doesn't need to go to Sandy, but as a super sub.
That's not a bad call.
It's not a bad call.
Not at all. That's really good.
Like,
I like
imagine
that.
him coming in hot for a quarter when everyone else is a bit fatigued.
Yeah.
Be a bit of a fire starter because, no disrespect to Bytel or pretty much any sub that we've had this year, they're not exactly impact players.
Bytel's not. He's a workhorse, and he needs to be on there for 4 quarters
Yeah.
to get a full performance.
Exactly.
Builds into
So,
it, doesn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call because if he doesn't play on the weekend, it's not because of form.
No.
And mainly if it was form, that's when you go to Sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see the benefit in being like, you're tired, so we're going to play you at VFL level for 4 quarters anyway. It's like,
Yeah.
I know it's not AFL, but it's still running and tackling and copping hits.
Yeah.
Like, he might get injured. I don't see the major benefit. in
Yeah,
doing
so
that.
he just
So
needs
I think
maybe
a sub.
unmanaged.
Yeah, so put the vest on. We'll call you up if we need.
Yeah.
I don't mind that call. This is from Beth. What to talk about at the water cooler when you want to deflect from football? At work, at the water cooler, making a cuppa in the kitchen, and the colleague that you don't like walks in and he's a magpie.
Hey, how about that football on the weekend?
It's like, how about those signers? You know,
I don't know.
Oh,
you
how about the crom?
The Crom.
The crom.
I don't know.
I don't deflect it.
You
I'm
don't
so
deflect?
used to copping a barrage of how about them saying it's like, I'm the first to turn on us. Don't get me wrong. Like,
I don't think that's something we'd ever get wrong about you, Joyce.
nah, we're not going to debate that.
Because
are
we were
we?
talking about it, like, because at the
Yeah.
Moorabbin social, Joycey listeners, he was. We were getting some vintage Joyce. He was getting frustrated, and
So good to watch.
yeah, because you've been super chill this year, I reckon.
yeah, well, we've had the wins on the board.
So it was so funny.
Yeah. It was.
frustrated
It's better
Joycey
in
coming out.
person, I'll say, than
Yeah,
getting
it was
50
nice.
individual Facebook messages.
Well,
in our
it's because I
crew.
just get to spurt out my little
Boys,
bit of wisdom, and then,
Five,
then I can fuck
5
off for a
seconds
bit.
into the game,
Yeah.
it's like, we're done. We're cooked.
But like when he was going off, like I could just like see these imaginary like
Yeah,
text
they were
bubbles.
popping up on his head. I was doing the same thing. I actually had Siri on, and it was just typing it out for me, and I was reading it anyway. I was like, this is beautiful.
Oh, brilliant. What were you saying? When
I was just-
the con of text is that there's no context.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
it's nice to make the comment on the spot when it happens.
Yeah. This is from Mo. He says, his girlfriend's a Crows fan. How do I deal with the bullying this week? I mean, maybe the same thing. You just talk them up. Maybe do the opposite.
Maybe do the
So how
opposite,
good
yeah.
are they? And then they can't bully you because they're like, oh, this isn't fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say, imagine how good you'd be if you had Brad Crouch still.
Well, that's like my girlfriend's a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, Saints are pretty shit. Hot pies. And I'm like, yeah, hot pies. Like, they'll win the premiership. Don't
go
get me
now.
wrong. It's theirs to lose. Imagine if they lose it.
I know.
Yeah.
All the pressure's on them.
Yeah, all the pressure's on them. No pressure on us. We've excelled at the start of the
Magpie
year.
fans won't sleep easy all year until they know they've won the flag.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah.
That's not a fun place to be.
Oh, never.
Who wants to be on top? This
Losers.
is from Sam. Losers? Gosh. This is from Sam. Can Steele, Ross, and Crouch all play in the same midfield? All have very similar skill sets.
Yeah, we were missing a bit of flair without Gresh there on the weekend, I do have to say.
Bit one-paced. wasn't it?
Yeah, very one-paced.
Apart from when we chucked Owens in there, which we didn't allude to.
Yeah.
But when Owens went into the ruck, I mean, you wanted him as a ruck rover.
I wanted him as a ruck rover from...
Imagine him
start.
roving Marshall's taps.
That's what I'm
How nice
saying.
would that
I
be?
think it's an ultimate move, but I was talking to Dad about it, and he was like, yeah, but you don't want to throw him around too much because they start to get confused. I was like, no. He doesn't get confused.
No.
Opposition gets confused with Machito.
Machito is just one of those rare breeds that you just plug and play wherever you want, because
Yeah,
I
he'll
thought
do
he'd
the
be
job.
confused playing as a forward. But
Should have chucked him on Tex. How good would that have been?
Oh, no, he would have got belted.
Take it easy, Jakey.
it's
This is from Stephanie. Hey, Jake, one for the junk mail. Is it personnel, process, or attitude adjustment from years gone by? Not panic stations, but I wonder, do the boys actually have belief in themselves? Where's the calming influence or maturity to rein it in a bit? Also, appreciate the work you guys put out every week. Thank you, Stephanie. That's a good question. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think it's
who-
an attitude thing.
did we see Steele kind of do anything yesterday to kind of get the boys in a huddle after a goal or settle the nerves? I didn't see much in the way of
he's
that.
Fox
struggling.
footy is
They don't show much.
Their camera work
Yeah.
is shit.
Yeah.
It's so poor. Like
good at the moment.
even just in the game where it's just they're just showing these delayed half-assed replays when the game's going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you expect them to catch on those sort of subtle moments that you could sort of pick apart a little
Yeah.
bit? But
Yeah.
no, I reckon it's attitude. I don't know. It's well, we're supposedly so coachable. So
Yeah.
It's the fight or flight sort of situation.
yeah,
We went into our shells a bit
we were traumatized.
yesterday
We were
and
shell
didn't want
shocked.
to come
yeah.
out. Yeah.
And Steele also went off at the end with a bit of a tweak to his knee, so we'll find out what's going on there, but
Yeah.
hopefully nothing.
Yep, should be fine. Ronan says, hated how Mason Wood said that he isn't that disappointed post-game after what we put up. In his interview, he said he wasn't too disappointed, apparently.
Yeah, I'm sick of that from AFL players.
Yeah,
They got to put the onus on themselves and
give
go,
us some
yeah.
real talk.
Yeah. Real chat. They're just doing it to save the fans. Like, oh, yeah, keep the fans in a positive attitude. And so is Ross Lyon, but
It actually does the opposite, though.
it does the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, spot on. And this is where I saw, like, a good example of it was Carlton on the weekend after the Western Bulldogs match. And Adam Chera said during the week, if they don't make finals, it's not a fail because of, like, the connection that they've made with the boys and stuff like that. And I'm like, that is absolute crap. I hated watching them after the game. They've lost, and all they were worried about was getting over to the boys that used to play at Carlton, who are now playing at Bulldogs, and having a chat. They didn't look upset. They did not look upset that they've lost 2 in a row, very winnable games, and that they're probably not going to make finals this year, and they're not going to improve on last year. They're
Because
probably...
I remember like Raywalt, there was one game where we just played an absolute shocker. It was our home game, and I think he got into a bit of trouble for this. But they go and give the footies out afterwards,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Nah, we're not doing that." And he just grabbed the boys. He's like, "We're off.
Yeah.
We're off." And yeah,
I've
know,
always-
footy players, a little bit too PR.
Yeah, I've always thought it's
Yeah.
even at Marvel now, they'll get Membry or one of the leaders, Steele, Wilkie, and interview them after the game. And like I think they did that after we lost to the Dogs by 100 points or something because it was our home game from
Yeah.
memory. And you're just like, I think no words is better than some words right now. Just, let the boys go into the rooms. Let us all be angry and don't give him the mic because people they're just going to say, oh,
We
thanks
need
for
some
coming
BJ
out.
pretzels.
We need some,
Yeah, BJ
some
pretzels.
corn chips or something.
Yeah, wax the CCs out of Ross's hands.
Imagine under your seat at every
Mulligan.
every Saints home game under your seat, you get a little packet.
Oh, yeah, like
CCs.
you're on Ellen or Oprah.
You get CCs. You get CCs. Everybody's going home with CCs.
Yeah.
Someone dissect. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast or not when he first came out with the CCs. I never knew that CC it stood for corn chips. CC.
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew
I
that.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Blew my little mind.
Aw.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if Ross wants to throw me some CCTC,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
Oh, and
CC tasty cheese.
This have we finished that
Nah.
question?
Oh, that
Sorry.
question we're finished yet.
Yeah, we're on the
I
food
think-
now, food and
This
beverage.
segment, it's brought to everyone by the Bentley Social, which will be there on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what will also be at the Bentley Social is I've ordered through
Yeah, that's right,
catch.com.au 2 cartons of CCs. Little.
Don't spoil the surprise. Would have been nice.
No, we want people
They're
to
gonna-
come.
are
We
they
want
gonna
people to
pump it
come.
up? This is
Will they
marketing.
arrive in time?
Sorry.
They arrived yet?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, nice. You've snuck a packet already, haven't you?
Nah, freshies.
Yeah,
I'm not.
alright.
Yeah,
The
I
tape will
would
come
co-
off the box when we're there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. Holly is asking, is this just a repeat of last year when we started good? A lot of people have asked me this this
The
year.
numbers are so similar.
So similar.
But-
and this is always the time of year where you get your reality check.
Yeah.
So, I think our reality check will be next week. If we don't topple GWS, that'll be our big reality check. So, hopefully this is just a bad one. But Carlton have copped their reality check. A few other sides have as well. So, yeah, look, hopefully we can get to the bye 8-3 again. And we can come out the other side.
Because
and make finals.
this point of the time, we were 6-3
We
last
were,
year,
yeah.
and pretty much like 3 percentage points difference.
Yeah.
Like we're slightly better this year, so
Yeah,
I know the footy's been better, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The numbers are just too eerily similar.
Yeah.
It's all about
It's when
the
the
second part of the year. Though.
Exactly
That's,
right.
That's really where it needs to be different.
100%.
But this is the part where the pre-season preparation starts to wear off and the games start to wear in. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
This leads us into the next thing. Mia, is there going to be a Saints TV disco this round? So we can
Ooh.
kind of loop into the match preview.
Absolutely,
Brought to you
there'll be a
by
Saints TV disco.
Bentley Social. But yeah,
At the
I jumped
Bentley
the gun.
Social.
I jumped the gun early, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Sorry.
let's talk Sunday, boys.
It's gonna be good.
Round 10, 4:40. We're back in our slot.
Back in
I
our
dare
s-
say we're unbeaten there this year.
we are.
So watch out, GWS.
440, 15th versus 5th. GWS at GWS Stadium, but for our friendly listeners at the Bentley Social.
Yeah.
We will be there. Come get your packet of CCs.
That's
Boys, what's happening?
Is Toby Green out still?
Uh,
I bet you he plays this week.
I hope so.
He
He's
loves-
in my super coach team, so he hasn't played for the last 2 weeks, and it's really sunk my battleship. But
Yep.
He'll come back in.
we never play them in Sydney. We always play them at Manuka.
We played them at Giant Stadium last year, didn't we?
No,
Nah.
we're at Manuka because I went to that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Canberra. Yeah.
That's when
And
Hayes
Yeah,
was injured, and we put Battle in the ruck the whole game. That
Yeah.
was that game.
that was the knee. Yeah,
Yep.
and we kicked a lot of points that game.
King kicked a lot of points.
King
that
kicked
game.
kicked like 1 goal 5 or something. Jack Higgins kicked 5 goals
Yeah.
and got 3 Brownlow votes.
So pretty much a repeat of that, but Kingy come in and kick 6 would be nice.
Kicking 6 straight. Higgins kicking 5 straight.
They're
I'm
low.
talking G-Train Milne days, boys.
Look, if that happened, obviously just a win would be nice, but if we came out breathing fire, that would just
Yeah.
get everyone up and about again.
Because I watched the whole of the Collingwood GWS game last night,
Yep.
and GWS want to play fast footy. They don't want to do.
What do they
man
call
on
it? The
man.
Orange Tsunami.
The Orange Tsunami. But no Orange Tsunami as of late. So let's just hope they don't pull it together on
So it's
the weekend.
An orange ripple.
It's an orange ripple. That'd be
Just
nice.
a puddle.
Orange ripple
A
cake.
little puddle.
A little puddle.
You can just step over it.
the orange puddle. Yeah, because I feel like they'll want to come out and play fast because they're a rebounding team off a bad year and they want to develop a brand of football and they're trying to develop the same brand of football that everyone else is trying to develop, which is fast and free-flowing and getting into the forward 50 quickly and quick off of turnover and all of that stuff. So if we've seen what they've done for the first 8 rounds, it's try and replicate that. But hopefully we are able to... I think our zone will work better against them than it has against the better teams.
Yeah.
But if not, we need to give man-on-man a crack. We need to get up and then we need to give man-on-man a crack.
Because, yeah, and like, I don't think they're, aside from Tom Green, they're not a very big team.
No.
Like, you know,
they're
you got your
settling.
Whitfields, they're a team of greyhounds.
Yeah,
lot of good
yeah.
wingers, yeah.
Well said. Yeah, because they got Callie, Green, Canelio, Whitfield,
Finn Callahan, like gun,
Yeah.
but he's a skinny lad.
Yeah.
skinny boy. Yeah, Perryman, skinny boy. So the way that they try and control it is like they love using Himmelberg to their advantage. Love using him to control the airwaves. And I would love for him to come to St Kilda at the end of the year and be the centre half back that we so crave. We are craving a big centre half back, and I'd love to throw a bit of money at him.
Are they playing him as a forward at the moment?
They're throwing him around,
Yeah.
so
So
they're
they've got-
trying to keep him as a back.
Hogan's their main target.
Yep.
It was essentially just Hogan on the weekend forward.
And he
was
kicks
there.
3?
Kicked 3, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
he was
he's
good.
alright.
He was really good, but I don't think, like, he's the type that Wilkie will get a hold of.
That's what I was going to
quite
say.
easily.
He's not that Tex Walker one-on-one beast.
Nah.
Yeah.
And
Tom
Darcy Moore
Hawkins.
wanted to play off of him. He didn't want to play on him.
Yeah,
So,
like his
yeah.
defensive pressure wouldn't be very high. I wouldn't have thought.
No.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of hard work to get the ball down there and a lot of perfection to get the ball onto his chest. So
What do we think of the ins and outs? That's the juicy discussion.
that is the juicy one, isn't it?
So
Who's
we know-
ready for a rest?
Yeah, we know who's going to come in most likely, but who are the outs? That's the tough
I reckon
one.
Pato.
Pato for
Pato
Webster?
definitely needs to go back and just get some
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pato for Webster.
Sharman for King. Oh, well, Membry's going to be
Membry
out.
for King,
but I think
Sharman for Windhager.
Sharman for Windhager.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we tried Sharman on the wing for a bit on the weekend.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Nah.
Old man Joyce made a pretty interesting observation, as
Yep.
he always does, about Tim Membry, and just about the point of his career that he's at. He's nearing on 30. He's 29, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
To potentially have a move of role off of the forward line because he's getting found out. He hasn't got the hops that he used to have, and he's getting squished in packs.
Yeah.
So the tools are now coming over him and he's getting squished in packs. And he was like, it might not be a bad shout to put Membry on the wing.
Yeah. Give him the Roo treatment.
Given the Roo treatment, use him as that run up, run back, run up, run back. And he loves leading. He loves getting on the move and loves leading and he loves intercepting.
I could dig that.
Yeah, I thought that's not a bad shout. He's like, yeah, I reckon if Membry's going to make it in this football team under Ross Lyon, I reckon it'll be on the wing. I don't think it's going to be at full forward or centre half forward or third tall. I think we've got the cattle now to say that, okay, we can move him out and there won't be too much damage because we saw it in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
With the likes of Caminiti, Owens, Philippo, and now King coming back as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But regardless, we'll think about this week because he'll be out with his concussion. So King in, Windhager's got to come in for Sharman, I reckon.
Gresh and JB, they're the interesting ones.
Yeah,
Gresh-
I think
Should be right.
If Gresh is fit,
He's in.
yeah.
JB?
I reckon almost.
He's put in a few good games now.
Oh yeah, Billings. Yeah,
Billings, yeah.
but who would? Yeah.
what have we thought of Butler so far? Like, what did we think of him on the weekend? He went wandering.
Yeah.
I think he
was
did his
quiet.
work off the ball,
Yeah, the pressure.
but just not the. He didn't kick a goal.
It depends on like if we rest Philippo because he plays that half forward position
Yeah,
that
true.
JB would play.
Yeah.
So if he's the sub,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I think Seb or someone like look at them for Gresh. I don't think
we
we're
take
going to
Seb
drop
out.
anyone in the midfield. Funnily enough, that's like always the safe zone.
Yeah.
You know, rarely do we see that midfielder group ever get dropped.
Yeah. I think Burns might
You
be
reckon?
due for a rest. He didn't look right on the weekend. Like, obviously not alone there, but
Yeah.
I thought
Bit
that was
cooked.
his worst game for the year, and just looked gassed. And for
Yeah.
someone who running is his strength,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just seemed a bit off the pace.
Yeah.
That's really the only other player I could think of.
Yeah, but we'd be open to change.
Yeah.
We'd be open to change, and I think everyone would say the same. That we've got to win this game, but
Gotta-
we've also got to get some new cattle in.
Refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's right. It's a long season. We've used the least amount of players, so we just
That's so
need to,
true. Yeah, no one's battling for their spot, and that's what also showed on the weekend. It's like no one's scared to lose their position.
27 players we'd used. 27.
That's
Yeah.
nothing.
No.
That is
It's
nothing.
unreal.
Yeah.
It's the same
Probably all
team
we've
almost
had
every
available.
week.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Apart from Steele missing and Membry, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Billings has got his 2 games under his belt, and it's a hard position to dominate at VFL, that half forward thing, I reckon.
You just got to do your percentage as well.
and so I
hope
think
that
he's done enough. He had a bit of a quieter game, but worked into it yesterday.
Yeah.
Did Billings, so
Yeah.
whether he's deemed fit enough.
And even
to-
Campbell, like,
Yeah.
who knows? Because Rowe looked
Campbell
good when
is
he
a
went
great
deep. But,
shout.
like,
Yeah.
how long has he been just dominating at VFL level for?
Yeah.
The last year and a half? Like,
I'd
That's
love
right.
to see.
Just give him a go.
Weather conditions,
yeah.
of course.
It's supposed to be a bit drizzly.
Bit drizzly, bit dwizzle.
So probably not then.
Yeah, if it's drizzly, no Campbell. If it's dry, I wouldn't mind seeing Campbell in. But again, if we're bringing in King, and do we want to create that monster in the forward line? You know, do we want to have Marshall and King in there?
God, that'll look good.
That looks so sexy.
Marshall, King, Caminiti, and Owens.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just make sure they don't get in each other's way. So it'll probably, in that instance, I'd be pushing Kingy up the ground.
Yeah.
And I'd be keeping Caminiti and Rowan deep. Because
That's
Rowan does an immense amount of work in the forward line to make sure his other players can get a free run at the ball. And I think that would be so beneficial to Caminiti and his confidence.
For sure.
Because
And-
he didn't have a bad game on the weekend. He made a really, really awful
yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A really rookie mistake, but again, didn't have a bad game.
No, he kicked
Yeah.
his
Still
2.
Kicked his 2.
That's all he's got to do every week.
That's
We
it.
love Caminiti,
Yeah.
and we love his effort. So
And we saw that we were desperately lacking that, especially once the Crows and it had bottled us up and forced us into just the long kick down the boundary. We need that get out with King.
The beast.
Like if
Yeah.
you had King, then that all of a sudden it just breaks up the game, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I reckon while Rowan Marshall is resting in the ruck, it's an opportunity for Kingy to move up the ground and play a big centre half forward role.
It's the most important week in terms of selection
Very
Yeah.
important.
because now there's a lot of players pressing for spots.
Yeah.
We're coming off a bad loss, so there's plenty of players that are droppable.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be
So-
very interesting selection.
Yeah, I couldn't see us just bringing in, say, a King and that's it.
Yeah.
Nah.
I couldn't see that.
No. So I'll be keen for Friday night. They'll announce the teams.
Yeah.
Because we're playing on the Sunday.
They'll put Campbell in the extended squad as they always
Of course,
do.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Good
in there.
insurance.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Well, Marshy, I believe you have a minute.
Yeah, I got a minute.
Marshy's minute. Marshy's minute. Marshy's minute. Marshy's minute.
I've been wrestling with this one today, and I just felt like I had to tell someone about it because I felt like such a coward. But and Dee's like, I should do it for your minute. But so today, as most people know or whatever, I happen to work in the 3189 Heartland in Moorabbin, and as I was going to get my lunch today, I saw Lethers at one of the establishments by himself, waiting for his tucker. And Lethers is like one of the most approachable guys at the club.
I've seen him multiple times and
Yeah.
never approached him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you chose to, then he'd be all for it because
Gotcha.
he's a legend.
Yeah.
Like, just a really good fella. And anyways, I saw him and I'm like, just in this split second, the gut just said, today just doesn't feel like a day to bother the CEO about some Saints footy chat while he's waiting for his lunch. He's, gone away for the club for, a bit of Lether's time. And there was also like a part of us where, it was only half of the day. So we've only had half a day to digest yesterday. So I was quite ready to talk Saints footy with you fellas tonight. But at midday, I just wasn't up for chatting Saints footy. I was still going through the process of what we had just witnessed.
So you're going to go back to the same joint tomorrow? Hope that he's there.
No. So what I will say is that, next time, because, he always gives you something. So, he would have given us something to chew on tonight. So I feel like I kind of let down the listeners and the boys. But, next time, if circumstances are a little bit different, I'll, at the very least, say g'day, because that saying is we can't go into our shell,
Yeah.
Even if that feels like the right thing to do, you got to turn up.
It's reminiscent of what's happening on the footy field. You got to
exactly.
show your colours, you got to get out there.
So, I just let him be, and I'm like, because, Lethers knows me.
He knew you were there too. He could see you. Even if he wasn't looking in your direction, he had an idea.
Yeah, that's it. So, even if I had gone there and said, g'day, mate, and try to keep walking, I'm sure he would have, wanted to have a chat, even though at the time he just really wanted to be by himself. But,
what establishment, or can he not?
Nah, I don't think that's important. It's just
food? Is it a
food.
Sanger? It was a toasty, wasn't it?
No.
You know where I'm thinking? Around the corner?
Yeah, the toast. It's
good there.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I had a very good bagel.
Oh, the bagel place right next to it?
Very good. I had a bagel today.
Do you recommend?
It was delish. But,
I don't know any of these spots.
It's a Moorabbin Secrets.
Yeah.
God, it's a shit place to have lunch, though. They've got no options in Moorabbin.
Oh, really?
You have to get lunch and then walk all the way to RSEA and just sit on the hill.
Yeah, I haven't had a tucker at lunch. Lunchtime at Moorabbin.
Well, there you have it.
There we go, boys. Well, last but not least, Sunday, Bentley Social,
Yes.
4:40.
Yep.
We'll be there early. Grab a bite to eat, have some Saints TV lager on tap, and come get your CCs.
Yeah, CCs.
Get
We'll have a few
your
cheeky
CCs on.
prizes.
Wee.
And I'll aim to... Yeah, I was a bit flat yesterday, boys, because I was so tired. So I just couldn't lift. Joycey, you did very well on the microphone.
You did, yeah.
So, massive thanks to everyone getting down to Moorabbin yesterday. It was a bit of a pivot during the week, but we'll be back at our home, the Bentley, and I've teed it up, so I've got the Sunday to maybe just shift a few gears.
Hey, just like the club.
There you go.
That's
Bring
it.
our best.
Bring our A game.
Bring our A game. Best dressed prize, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll all see you there for the 4:40 match against GWS.
Yeah, we'll do some pass the parcel and
No pass the parcel.
Marshy's over that.
What is
Yeah.
it, dancing chairs or whatever it's called? What's
Musical
that?
Musical chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
it.
fun.
Alrighty, boys. Well, it was a good episode.
Pleasure.
Short, sharp.
Pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And enjoy the rest of your week. Don't stress about the footy. Get a couple of games under your belt to settle the nerves on the weekend and up the Saints.
We've got some... We won't say anything yet, though, but there is some big projects in the works.
There is
so
some big
This is like
projects on the works.
the post-credit scene in a Marvel movie. Can we play the music first? And then at the end, it's like,
Oh, we
there are
can.
big things happening, Saners.
All right.
Oh.
Stay tuned.
Big-
Saints food, Saints food, Saints food, Saints food. As I shampoo my hair, I really love my Saints food, and
Boys, if we're going to have them in, is the couch comfortable enough? Are there stains on it? Do we need stain remover?
Do we need to
go
get
out
a
the
new
shops?
couch?
Do we need to get a new couch?
We need a throw over a minimum.
A
throw over.
We need to get
The
a throw. A
cleaners-
Saints coloured throw over. We'll get a Saints coloured throw
That's
over.
a great
Cleaners
idea.
are booked.
What do
yeah?
they drink?
Yeah.
Have we asked what they drink? Do we need to get them drinks?
Just water.
Just water.
Just water.
Fiji.
water.
I reckon Fiji water.
Fiji, and we'll get the best
We'll
water
get
on
some
the market.
coconut water just to
Absolutely,
be safe
their
as well.
palate
We
will
don't
be.
know.
Yeah, mix it up.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be boys.
It's just going to be unreal. I
Huge.
can't believe that they're coming through, and they're going to be here at the studios.
Through that door.
In
Through
the
that door.
flesh.
In this spot.
In this spot. It's massive.
Where are we
Do you
going to
reckon
get the
we sign
signature?
the footy?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's someone like that can sign the footy. Yeah.
Hope
We
so.
might need to get them their own footy.
I reckon almost just like
Maybe we should give them the
Underneath.
footy.
Do they just keep it?
Do you reckon they'll sign a number on it too, or?
they can sign whatever they want.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we got a
actually a
few
really
numbers
good
there.
point. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I've got a few names they could sign it under as. Oh, jeepers.
All right.
Coming soon.
I'm nervous.
I love the feeling, so does the family. Oh yeah. Saints food, 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 Saints food.